Happy Monday night, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Live in Lexington, you guys. My name is Catherine Kaufman, and I'm a psychic medium here in Lexington, Kentucky. Welcome to my every Monday night show. This is Monday Night Live in Lexington, where we explore what and who we are on this journey through life. And that includes all the metaphysical stuff that I routinely bring to you every Monday night. There are topics like ghosts and spirits, doppelgangers, poltergeist. There's a 5-part series on aliens. There's a 3-part series on auras. If you want to see past episodes, I will put a link in the comment section after the show where you can go and watch the past episodes on my YouTube channel. All of these episodes are usually uploaded by Wednesday of each week so that you can see the latest episode that has been on Monday Night Live so you don't miss out. Let's do some quick shout outs. Hey to Keonta, Melissa, Wesley, Paige, Barbara, Katie, thanks for joining me this evening. Hey to you guys over here on Instagram that are joining. If you really like these Monday night episodes and you want to keep them going, hit that share button now and share this out on your feed. I'm sure that there's a lot of your friends that need to know this information about psychic vampires tonight. Shout out to John Philip Young, and hey to Paige Denise. And let's see to Melissa Begley, one of my favorite girls in the whole world. Give a little squeeze to my favorite kitty, Miss Cleo. I love Miss Cleo. She's a black cat, and she's so beautiful. Love her to death. Thanks for joining me, you guys, this evening. I'm so proud that you guys are here every Monday night, and you're eager to know the information that I'm presenting to you. Now, in case you missed last Monday night's episode, we did present something that was very controversial. There are some very important risks about people staying in hotel rooms, and you need to go back and watch last Monday night's episode to find out what you can do to prevent an energy drain from staying in a hotel. Hey to Yasmin, Kim, Luna, Brandy, and George McKinney. Special shout out to George. So tonight's episode, we're going to go over psychic vampirism. Is it for real or not? And you're going to be surprised by some of the information I think. So first of all, let's go over types of vampires, and I think that we're going to have to split this subject into 2 episodes, so I did label this as part 1 in case we run out of time. Thanks for the likes and the hearts. I love that. Hey to Margaret, Luna, and Jay Ross. Thanks for joining me this evening. So the types of vampires are sanguine, and we kind of know all that by watching True Blood. That's the sanguine vampire. But what we're dealing with tonight is the psi vampire, the psychic vampire. But other types of vampires are empathetic, and they feed off of the emotions of people. Also, we do have the sexual vampires that feed off of strictly physical sexual energy. And then I want to present to you an experience that I've had in particular with a soul sucker. And that is a type of psychic vampire that can do an extreme amount of damage. And I've had that done to me. It was very horrible. And I'm going to tell you about it. I'm not going to tell you who it is about, but I'm going to tell you kind of what happened. So a psychic vampire, we call them psi-vamps, is used to describe a living being or a living human that drains the auric energy or life force from another person. Now, we also call these people users, energy suckers, energy drainers. Hey to Caliban. And these people, now there's two trains of thought here. The one train of thought is that these people don't know what they're doing. And then there's another camp that says, yes, they know exactly what they're doing. I think that the other camp of that they know exactly what they're doing is more of the soul sucker category. And we'll get into that a little bit more. Hey to Pamela Thompson, Lisa, and Kathy Schultz. Thanks for joining me, and a shout out to upstate New York to Kathy. Hey to Lisa, thanks for joining us this evening. And all of you guys over here on Instagram, hey to Danae and Tamara Langley, thanks for joining me this evening. So how does a psychic attack happen? When a psychic attack happens, the vampire receives an energy surge from the victim who experiences extreme fatigue. Now, I'll never forget the first time that I ever saw this happen was actually in a bar where the people were out dancing. And I, as a psychic and a psychic medium, I could actually see the person drawing the excess energy from the person that they were dancing with. And if I remember correctly, I did point out to someone that was with me at the time that that was a vampire that was drawing the energy. And as she honed in on it a little bit better, she kind of got that. She was seeing what I was seeing at the time. And so that kind of validated the experience that I was having. Hey to Zoe, Felicia, thanks for joining us this evening. Thank you, Lisa, for sharing. And hey to Jules Carney, thanks for joining us. So, yeah, these suckers, soul suckers, are not necessarily bad people, but they're not aware of what they're doing is the first camp. So consciously, they're not intending to do any harm. The harm is unintentional. And why do they need our energy is the other question that most often comes up. So in my research for psychic vampires, what I found was the psychic vampire is actually quite a weak person. They're not a person who's going to succeed or become an entrepreneur or have a real driving force in their energy. It's going to be somebody who kind of rides on the coattails of somebody else. And that kind of goes with the drawing of energy. These people often experience abandonment or rejection in their life. They do need constant reassurance that they're worthy or they're okay. These people will also never feel satisfied, and they don't know why they're never happy or they're never satisfied. And so Danae over here on Instagram says her ex was like that. Yes, absolutely, Danae. You can really identify some of these traits in past relationships. These people will constantly seek nurturing and reassurance, and they will also be very weak of energy and experience a lot of fatigue. So hey to Brandywine, Pam, Natasha, and Brandy says, so they are not dead who come back to life. That we're talking real humans. Yes, these Brandy are psychic vampires. They draw the living auric force from a living person in order to make up for the deficits that are existent in their own life force, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense to you. Hey to Samantha Taylor. So yes, Felicia says she needs this. This is very good information for a lot of us, and a lot of us who have abilities are especially prone to this type of attack, because people who have abilities produce an excess amount of energy that goes beyond the aura, and that's extremely attractive to a psychic vampire. So why do they need our energy? So in looking at the traits of the psychic vampire, you know, they're low on energy, they're fatigued, they're weak, their constitution is weak, they're constantly needing, you know, reassurance, and constantly in fear of abandonment or rejection. So it's basically a really weak person that has learned how to bolster their aura using another person's living energy. So Brandy says, do they know they are vamp, or is this a mental and emotional induced issue? Now, Brandy, I feel like most people have no idea that they are doing this. They know that they're doing it, but they have no idea of why they're doing it, or the ramifications or damage that they're doing. Now, some don't, or probably wouldn't care, because their desperation to feel better is so much that, you know, the damage to somebody else goes out the window. So now each of us have a little bit of these tendencies, because we want to be around people that make us feel better, that make us feel okay. So, you know, there's a natural exchange of energy, and as long as you're giving back to the person that you're in communication with, you're okay, because you're taking a little, but you're replenishing their energy as well, because you're giving back. But psychic vampires only take, and they do not give back. Shout out to Rolando and Rob, and Brandy says that makes sense. I'm so glad that is helping you, Brandy. Hey to Patricia Diaz over here on Instagram. John, hey, and special shout out to Shelly. Oh my gosh, my allergies have got me. Woo! Bad this day, and everything is in bloom here in Lexington. So let's go over now, and I want to bring this to the table. Are these psychic vampires similar to spirit attachments? Because one thing that I'm highly trained in and experienced in so much in the past is spirit attachment to a physical person. And so what happens is that a spirit feels weaker without a physical body. There's no boundaries, there's no building up of strength. It has an energy, but it does feel stronger, a spirit does, when it attaches to a physical person that's putting off an excess amount of energy. So what we'll see is spirits making an attachment to someone who is living. The reason that happens is the spirit recognizes that there's an excess amount of energy coming from the living person, and what they realize is when they're attached, or when they're next to that person, it makes them feel more normal, like they do have a body, like they do have more energy. And so I'm thinking that psychic vampires just kind of naturally will be drawn to somebody like a spirit attachment, because that person has abundant energy or excess energy that they can draw from. Now, it could be that psychic vampires, when they pass on, become spirit attachments, and they just kind of continue on what they were doing in life after their physical life is gone, and so they become a spirit attachment. And so these are things that I've kind of been wondering about. Hey to Brenda, Joe, and Tina. So let's go over traits of a vampire, which is this very weak constitution. It's this, and often psychic vampires will have chronic illnesses. And we're going to go into a little bit of soul suckers here in a minute, because I had a personal experience with the soul sucker, and it really damaged me quite a bit, to almost killing me. And I just need to get this off my chest and tell you guys about it. Hey to Donnie Lee over here on Instagram, and Shelly. And over here on Facebook, a special shout out and a kiss to Kimberly Carr, Bent Bartley, and Catherine, and Lisa, and Donna. My thoughts go out to you, Kimberly, with you and your family. I hope things are okay. If you get a chance, message me and let me know you're okay and things are good. Hey to Lisa Saunders. So let's go over symptoms of a psychic attack, okay? What are you going to feel like? After the psychic attack, we're going to go into my experience with the soul sucker and how a soul sucker is different from a psychic vampire. So symptoms of a psychic attack: you're going to feel a leaky or diminished aura. Okay, so what that means is, it's going to be odd, I know, but certain parts of your body are going to feel weak. Most often, it's the hands or feet, because there's an enormous amount of nerves in the hands and feet. Now, to tell if there's been an attack, you can get an aura photography done, but you know, that's not always convenient. So you kind of need to be in tune with your body and know when certain parts of your body are feeling weak. Now, the key to this is, thanks for the hearts over here on Instagram, and hey to Jim Serena. Hey, guy, how are you? Thanks for waving at me and giving me all the hearts. Thank you very much. So Donnie Lee over here on Instagram says they have an absolute abundance of energy. I have a few husbands that were soul suckers. The blankety blanks. Yes, absolutely. I agree with you, girl. So, so weak in certain spots of the body is a real giveaway, and it's going to be odd to you. Like, you're going to be like, why am I feeling weak in the abdomen? Or why are my hands shaking, and why are my hands feeling weak? That's kind of a giveaway. There's also dizziness. I think that is actually a neurological system drain, because we're dealing with energy here. An extreme fatigue. Muscle tension. I think actually the muscle tension is sort of a protective reaction that the muscles have to the actual attack. Because some of the information I'm going to present to you, there was some studies done that actually showed that there were energy cords coming from the other person and puncturing the aura. And I'll give you those studies in just a minute. Mental confusion, I feel like that's the neurological drain. Headaches, that's going to be inflammation from the actual attack. Chronic fatigue, that's the energy drain. Sleep disturbances, that's the energy drain as well. Irritability, depressed mood, those are both going to be neurological drains. And then physical illness. I think the physical illness is just due to the energy drain, but also, you know, the person who is the energy vampire usually has a chronic illness, and that deficit in the body is going to drain that complementary organ that the human person that they're draining has. And then that's going to produce the physical illness that the person experiences. I hope that makes sense to you. Let me check for questions. Shout out to Sharon May Maddox, Pamela Downey, Trina, and Lyric, and Sheila. Thanks for joining us this evening. So, highly sensitive persons are extremely open to this type of psychic attack, the psychic energy drain. Why? Because we produce an extreme amount of energy. We expend a lot of energy. And these people can pick up on this. Now, I have so much information on this. I want to tell you that I'm going to present protection against this type of psychic attack. This is going to be on episode 2. This will be aired May 21st. So in order to find out what you can do against psychic vampire attack, I want you to come back, visit me on May 21st. We will go over all the things that you can do against this, because it is really important that you find out about this. Now, here's the studies that I researched for this, and these were done by the Parapsychology Foundation of New York. And let's see, Samantha says she suffers from headaches and fatigue and has struggled with illness all your life. So evaluate yourself, Samantha. Just make sure that you're not being drained by someone that is in or around you. And that's just going to take, like, personally evaluating all of your interactions with people, and if they are positive or negative, because the person who is most likely draining you is going to be kind of a negative person. They're going to have self-esteem issues. They're going to have physical issues. They're going to have chronic depression, that type of thing. And Brenda says she's had a lot of feet problems lately. So Brenda, you need to evaluate the same kind of thing. Hey to Lori and John. Thanks for joining us this evening. And over here on Instagram, Meaty William, thanks for joining us. And if you have any questions, type them in the comments. I'll try to catch them as they go through. So the Parapsychology Foundation of New York did these studies. And so what they showed was that there were persons that were highly skilled at deliberately tapping into and directly feeding off of the aura of others. Now, this study was done by volunteers, okay? All of the people volunteered for this study, and they did give the people counseling after the study in order to alter their behavior so that they wouldn't continue on damaging other people. So what the psychic vampire does is they interrupt the capacity of the person's energetic aura at the central core to generate new energy. So it's drawing out the central core energy. And this happens particularly when the interaction is a prolonged one, because part of the study included volunteer subjects that were in an ongoing relationship. So they did short-term but also long-term reactions and damages. So a part of how they measured this was through aura photography. And so they would take the victim's aura photograph before and after the interaction. And so what it showed was that the victim's aura was becoming severely de-energized and constricted, shrinking following the attack. And then they showed a before and after photograph of the attacker's aura, the vampire's aura, which was shrunk before the attack and became energized and elongated after the attack was complete. And so what the attack did was expanded the psychic vampire's aura. Now, also, what I thought was really, really interesting was that the aura photography revealed tentacle-like structures that actually went and punctured the victim's aura. Now, wow, you guys, just wow. That's unbelievable. I mean, we imagine this and we expect it to, but to actually see it on the aura photography. And you can go on Google and like Google that tentacle energy structures of psychic vampires. You can see pictures of this. I would encourage everybody watching tonight to go and search these pictures and take a look at them. Hey to Sandra, Debbie, and Diana. So Paige has a question. She is asking, would a narcissist be considered a psychic vampire? Absolutely. Because remember, Paige, there's another camp that does not believe that the psychic vampire is not responsible for the attack. This other train of thought, and I don't necessarily believe in this. I think that most psychic vampires are not aware of what they're doing, but I'm sure there are some that do and really don't care, and they tend to just feed off of the emotions and the psychic energy, and then will leave the person in ruin and really don't they don't associate with that person as a human after that. And so that would fit with a narcissist. So yes, I believe that some narcissists are psychic vampires. Hey to Bob and Susan. Thanks for joining us this evening. So let's get back to the tentacles, because those are just freaking me out. The tentacle-like structures that are shown on the aura photography are actually puncturing the recipient's aura or the victim's aura. These require weeks, if not years, to heal. And now when they did this study, they did get consent of the volunteers, and a lot of them were in ongoing relationships, and they volunteered for the study, and they were given counseling afterwards to know exactly when they need to stop, when they're damaging their partner, and you know, that kind of thing. So hey to Donnie Lee. Oh, okay. So Donnie Lee says, had to say goodbye to a few friends due to their draining and damaging behaviors. Yeah, Donnie Lee, I am in agreement with that. Most people don't actually know that they're doing this. They know they have an innate desire to have energy and to feel better, and they figured out over the years what it takes for them to feel better. And unfortunately, a lot of their relationships and a lot of their friendships are going to go by the wayside because people just can't tolerate this constant energy drain. So long-term continuous psychic vampire attacks can have really devastating consequences to your energy system, to your body, to your health. And I want to go into soul suckers and my experience with a soul sucker before we have to go. We are going to have to do 2 episodes on this because there's so much information here on psychic vampires. Now, the other train of thought are those people who believe that vampires are not simply sucking energy, but they're dumping poison, or when they puncture your auric field, they're actually injecting almost like a poison into your system. And I want to present to you on the next episode, you know, how this other camp thinks about how these vampiristic tendencies are actually doing more harm than we think of with the person who just wants to feel better and doesn't realize what they're doing. Hey to Angie Bishop over here on Facebook. Okay, soul suckers are different. And I want to give you my experience with a soul sucker before we end for tonight, because I just feel like I need to get this off my chest. Some people are deviant, okay, and they have deviant actions, and they are just plain evil. Now, the soul sucker is different from the psychic vampire because they pretend that they're your friend to get close to you, okay, to attach an energy cord to you. Then they go about systematically trying to destroy your life or your reputation. The goal from this is to have you, the victim, produce despair or depression or pain, because that is what the soul sucker specifically feeds off of. Okay? Now, soul suckers usually will have some type of physical ailment. Let's say, I'm just gonna give a wide example, not that, and it's not related to what happened to me, but let's just say the person has a lung problem, okay? And their lungs are weak. The people around them that they're actually soul sucking will start to have lung problems, all right? And you're going to notice that it's really weird, because this person that's around them and this person that's around them suddenly have lung problems, okay? Suddenly you have lung problems where you never had lung problems before. Okay, you may find out through other people that this person talked horribly about you when you've never done anything wrong or said anything but complimentary things to that person. That is a soul sucker. You may end up with lung problems after that, because an energy cord has been attached to you, and they have been, you know, deliberately on a destruction route to cause you to put off that negative energy that they so desperately want to feed off of. Now, why are you having the physical symptoms of the organ that they're deficit in? Is directly related to that energy cord that is attached to you. They're drawing the energy from your organ that they need to support their weak organ. This can be devastating. It can be life-threatening. So anybody that fits that description, you need to absolutely put as much distance in between you and them as possible. I cannot stress this enough. It happened to me. Please do not let it happen to you. That's part of why I do these episodes and I share this information with you guys, is because I want to save as many people as I can from having this happen to them, because they simply are not aware or they don't know. Special shout out to Joe Ray and kisses to Joe Ray. And let's see, how do we break that link? So I want to say to you guys, and you guys know I will share whatever file I have with you. I do have a file on breaking energy cords. If anybody watching tonight wants that file, private message me on Facebook. I will gladly send that to you for free. I promise you. So Rob says, blessings to you. Thank you, Rob. There often has been discussion between psychic vamps and true legit empaths. Have you personally had similar experiences? Yes. Some empathic people are really are huge victims to psychic vampires. Probably could do another show on that alone. Absolutely. And Melissa says, years of pleurisy, and since detaching from my negative aunt with COPD, there's not been an event. Awesome. I know only see her. I now only see her on occasion to spend the night as a caretaker. That is awesome. And I'd say the biggest challenge is to figure out who these people are and what they're doing to you. Because I will tell you that I figured it out too late. The soul sucker. I figured it out too late. Damage is damage. It's been done. We can't go back and change it, but at least I can share this information with you guys, and maybe, just maybe, this won't happen to you. So, and soul suckers, I think, are an extreme version of the psychic vampire. So we're out of time for tonight. So next week, I'm going to present the other camp on how they feel about psychic vampires. And this is more of, kind of, they know what they're doing and they do it deliberately. And I think some do, actually, but I really think the majority of people don't know that this is what, they're having to have, and they're actually, damaging people. Because, like I said, a lot of spirit attachments, when I go to them and communicate with them as a medium, they're not aware that they're actually doing damage to the living person until, I mentally try to explain it to them. So I do think the majority of living people don't know that they're doing it with intention, but you do need to know about the people who do know what they're doing and, what's in it for me kind of thing. So we're going to go over the other camp. We're also going to go over how to protect yourself from psychic attack. And so let's find out now, what's for dinner, David?
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Elk roast.
So who caught the elk? Like, where's the elk from?
Well, it's from Knott County.
Knott County, Eastern Kentucky. This is an elk roast that was given to us by David's mom and dad. And so tell us what we did with it.
You have to tell what we did with it, darling.
Well, I kind of made it into an Italian beef roast. I cooked it all night in the slow cooker. And
when I woke up this morning, it smelled
so
great.
Good. It smelled so good.
And oven fries.
Oh, yes. I love oven fries. Thank you so much.
Night, night.
Night. All right, you guys. Sharing is caring, you guys. So if you enjoyed the broadcast, show me you care and hit the share button on there. Share this with your friends. Also, for those of you that don't know, maybe on Instagram or Facebook, if you're first joining us, I do a free reading on Friday, every Friday on my Facebook page. It's called Fun Friday. Please tune in and participate in this free psychic reading that I do every week. I also do a daily astrological forecast on Facebook and Instagram. So for those of you guys that are over on Instagram, visit my Instagram page. You can get a daily astrological forecast on what's the planet doing to us today, like what's the influence for the day. Now, I want to give you guys a heads up on next Monday. I'm going to be doing a show on how to open your third eye. I do have a special guest coming on, Lyric Sosby. She's going to be on here to talk with me about how to open your third eye, what does it mean, and how to stay safe during that process. So you guys have a fabulous week. I will see you guys on Friday for Fun Friday. And don't forget, the next episode of Psychic Vampires is going to be May the 21st. Kisses from Kentucky.